What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to rig an artificial bait or an artificial lure weedless. So today I have three different types of lures. I have a Slayer Inc SST Sinister Swimtail paddle tail bait. I have a DOA jerk bait. I think it's a DOA CAL Jerk Bait. And then I have my final bait, which is my favorite bait for sight fishing for redfish, and that is a regular DOA Shrimp rigged weedless. Alright, let's get this started. So I'm going to start with my favorite bait, which is the DOA Shrimp rigged weedless. It's pretty simple to rig this bait. You just basically pinch off the back end of the tail. And I actually buy these particular DOAs in the spare part packs. And the reason I buy them in the spare part packs is it comes with a pack of 9 DOA shrimp for about the same price as a pack of rigged shrimp. So basically the spare parts are unrigged shrimp, and it comes with hooks, and it comes with weights, and then it comes with 9 of these DOA shrimp. I think it's the best bang for the buck, especially when you're going to be rigging these baits with a different type of hook. So today I'll be using an owner twist lock hook on my DOA shrimp. I like the owner twist lock hook on the DOA shrimp because it has this little pin. It makes it really easy to get the right, just the perfect position, or get to the right point of that DOA shrimp in order to get that screw in there. As you probably can see right here, the width of this shrimp is not much more than the width of this little corkscrew here, so it's very important that you get that bait directly, you get that little pin directly in the center of the bait. From there, pretty simple. You just start twisting your bait onto that corkscrew, and that's going to hold your bait into place. So I like to go all the way to the very eye of the hook, as close as I can get. So you can see here and here. And then I measure up my hook on the side of the bait. I can see that the hook's going to go about to this point on the bait. So I will then pinch the bait with my left hand, poke that hook through, and boom, you have a perfect fit right there. That is a perfectly weedless DOA shrimp. And one thing you can do to make it even a little more weedless, because that point will become exposed at times, you can actually pinch that bait a little bit. So you can pinch that bait and get that tip of the hook to stick into the bait just a little bit more. And that's going to make your bait a little more weedless for when you're fishing, say, thick turtle grass or thick shoal grass, or anywhere where you have a lot of grass, or even if you're fishing mangroves too. This also works for mangroves. It keeps you from getting hooked up on the mangroves if you do end up skipping into the mangroves or accidentally casting into the mangroves. So that's my first bait. My second bait here is a DOA CAL Jerk Bait, and I really like this bait for sight fishing for snook and blind fishing for snook in creeks and along mangrove shorelines. The hook I'm using is actually a Slayer Inc hook, but I think Mustad makes the hooks, and then I believe Chris Sensi and his team add the corkscrews and add the weights to the hooks. But I think they're great hooks. I really like the way that the hook lines up. I don't know if y'all can see here from above, but the eye of the hook lines up really well at the point of the hook. And so when you have that bait attached, everything's just lined up so perfectly, and everything lays very flat. The barb of the hook actually lays in this little groove on the DOA CAL, which I really like. So same as the DOA shrimp, you just start off with your corkscrew. This corkscrew is a little bit smaller. I really like these hooks for the DOA shrimp as well because the corkscrew is a little bit smaller. You just twist it on, just like we were doing before with the DOA shrimp. Real simple, real easy, all the way up to the eye of the hook. And then once again, you just line up your hook on the side of the bait. I can tell that the hook is going to stick out right about here, so I'll pinch it right there. I'll go underneath, and then I'll pop that hook through at just the right point, and boom. Now we have a perfectly weedless DOA CAL jerk bait. This is great once again for throwing, for snook up against the mangroves, skipping underneath docks. Anytime you have a chance of hooking up on something, on some sort of structure, I like to throw weedless, because the last thing I want to do is I do not want to get hooked up on barnacles on pilings. I do not want to get hooked up on barnacles on mangrove roots. I don't want to get hooked up in the leaves of the mangroves either. And unfortunately, sometimes that just happens, and rigging it weedless helps keep you from getting caught up on the structure. So my final bait, and this is my favorite bait for surf fishing. This is a Slayer Inc SST, also known as a sinister swimtail. This particular bait is in baby bass, which is a great color. And then this hook is actually a Mustad twist lock hook. I think they have a different name, Mustad keeper hook. Basically, the Mustad hook has a little bit of a thicker corkscrew. I don't know if you can see here. It's a little bit larger than all of the other corkscrews on those other hooks. And so I like to use this one on the paddle tail because the paddle tail is a little bit thicker, the head's a little bit thicker. It can hold that bigger corkscrew a lot better. So same thing with all the other baits. You start off in the center of the bait and then you just twist it on. Very simple. Very, very simple. It's so easy to change out baits if you want to change out colors, or if you want to change from a paddle tail to a DOA shrimp or a paddle tail to a jerk bait. It's extremely easy to do that. Once again, you just line it up. That's all it is. You line it up. You see where that hook's going to want to penetrate through so it sits flush. Well, let me show you from this angle too. Just line it up. Boom, just like that. And then what you'll do is you'll pinch the bait with your left hand and pop that hook through with your right hand. I always try to line up the hook in the center of the bait as best as possible. The more centered it is, the better the bait's going to perform. It's going to look a little more natural when you have that hook lined up in the center of the bait. You start getting to the side of the bait, that bait will kind of tend to lean over a little bit. And honestly, it might look more like a wounded bait fish. I don't know. I just prefer my hook to be centered, and I prefer my bait to swim pretty straight. I don't want it to swim wonky. And then once again, if you want to make this thing extra weedless, it's already pretty dang weedless, but you can pinch that tip and boom, stick it into that plastic right there. It's going to make it a little extra weedless for you. Once again, guys, extremely simple to rig your baits weedless. All you need is the right types of hooks. Keeper hooks or twist lock hooks work great. There are some other bass like worm hooks you can use as well. I prefer using the little corkscrews on these hooks. It makes it a little bit easier to keep the baits on, and it seems to work better with these softer, soft plastic baits. So that's it. That's how you rig your baits, your artificial baits, your artificial lures weedless. And if you have any questions, be sure to comment below. If you're interested in learning anything else, I have a lot of knowledge, and I'd be happy to teach you guys anything I know. So definitely comment below and let me know what we should work on next. So thank you guys again for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel below, and be sure to check out our How To Tuesdays every Tuesday and our full-length fishing films on Thursdays. Thank you again for watching, guys, and good fishing.